Be'ezah Hashem Pashas Vayishlach Tov Pei Dalet. The previous week, we have opened up a new topic. That when a person does an Avera, there's actually two parts. There's the action that the person does. It's the Bechira, that a person is trying to do Avera, decided to do Avera. And then is the result if the person was successful to execute. And many times we see that they're not connected. Meaning, when a person is boicher berat to do a Avera, it's totally not necessarily that he's going to be matzliach to execute his machshava, his rotzen. L'moshel, we see Bilam wanted to curse Klal Yisrael. Say he was boicher berat. He chose to do a geferliche avla, but Hashem didn't let him, so it didn't work. That's simple as that. He tried.
Chazal say, say the hope is that he won't do it.
Right. A person that actually tried, it totally doesn't mean that he's going to be successful to pull it off, to actually get the Avera to be done. The same is Haman, that he put up eight Gevoya Chamisha Mama. He tried his best. He was Boicher Berah, but he wasn't successful. It didn't happen. On the other hand, we have people that they do the Maisa Avera, but they weren't Boicher Berah. They never chose to do it. Let's say Tinuk Shenishba. The action of the Avera was done, but it didn't have the first part of choosing, of having a Tutz in the mind and, having this fight and trying to overcome. No, they had no Bechira. Sometimes it's clear, like a Tinuk Shenishba. So you see, sometimes people choose to do something that's they're not supposed to, and they don't get to part two. Sometimes there is part two without part one. That's a fact. So that helps us understand that every time a person did a Aveda, even if there were both parts, chose to do something that's not appropriate, and unfortunately they were successful, it's still not bedavka connected. Even if both parts were there, it's not connected. This is one of the Yesodis of Bitochen that we usually don't enter. It's like a little alleyway that we usually speak about things that are connected to this, but not about this specific example of Averis. What do I mean? The fact that when a person does an action and there is results, that a person should remind themselves that they're not necessarily connected, is one of the Yesodis of Bitochen. If a person does ishtadlus, and he did, and he tried, and he actually was successful, Baruch Hashem. He made money. The person has to remind themselves that the Rebbeinu Shalom created these results. He could have, for the same money, tried very hard, and he wouldn't have been successful. It's not up to him. Look at people. The two people, they try, they work, they sweat. Results is told in the Rebbeinu Shalom. When we use this concept, when we learn this concept, when it's in earning money and ishtadlus, that's like a chovas above is the good topic. That you should remind yourself that the Rebbeinu Shalom brought the results. But when it's an Aveda, we need to apply the same concepts, and it's very, very negeya for tshuva, as we'll learn in this shir Be'ez Hashem. Mamish, critically negeya, to a person should figure out what they need to do tshuva on, and how it works, and how they could be'emes fix many, many issues in life if they figure out how Aveda works. Now, we need to learn this topic better. There are three parts to every Aveda. We spoke about two: choosing to do what's wrong, and actually executing it. It happened; they were successful. But then there's part three. Part three is the oynish that comes to the world. We could call it the choiser shefa, whatever you want to call it. Because this Avera was done, now something bad happens in the world. Rachaim HaKodesh by Kisei Tzeichel Motza Koisen speaks about little children dying, that it happens because of Averas. People in the world did Averas, and there's a lot of tzoros. All the tzoros we need to remember, constantly remind ourselves, tzoros is a result of Averis. Exactly which, exactly who did the Avera. We need to rely on the Rabban Shalom, everything is oizgecheshbent. But it's a result of Averis. Like you see Churban Beis HaMikdash, we see this is a result of Averis. So that's the part 3 of Avera, the results in the sense of the repercussions that happens that people did Averis in this world. Now, those type of results, the repercussions, like he called it, let's call it the Churban Beis HaMikdash that happens, is as a result of the Bechira in Ra, that a person chose to do what's wrong, or as a result of the Maisa Avera. Let's learn a Shia Ian. What is the result? What causes this situation in this world? Machles, whatever it is. I know that Averas caused that. That's verstehe. That's what it says in the Pasuk. If you're going to do what's right, and if you're going to do what's wrong, bad things are going to happen. But what part of the Avera is what causes this to happen? What's the answer? Both. That means there are two separate problems. When a person chooses to do something that's wrong and disregard what the Rebbein Shalom was mitzvah him that he should do, and he ignores it, and he tries to do something that's wrong, that's a problem. He disconnected. It's a very big. He needs a kapara.
What does that mean? Why does that still translate into bad happening into the world?
Because every time there's Avera, and that on its own is an Avera. If he needs a kapara, it means that there was a pirut. That means there was a person that forgot about the Rebbein Shalom, and that made that there wasn't the presence of the Rebbein Shalom in this world while this person chose to do what's bad.
In the moment there's HaKadosh Baruch Hu is more distant from this world, that means bad enters in?
Yeah, it's important to stress. Yeah. Doichik Ragla Shechina is specifically about if it's Gaivu or any type of Aveda that a person does. So the Etzem, how did you say it? You said it very good. Every time a person creates a matzav that the Shechina is more nelam, that means it's not a strong presence in the world, it's not so begolui, it translates, take it from Yad, right away, that translates into bad coming to the world. Because this kitrugim and constantly, and Shechina is brocha. Wherever Hashem's name is, wherever there's kedusha, there's a reason there should be chayim there, and everything around. Like the first capital in Tehillim, a person that learns Torah and is a dovak to Rebbeinu Shalom, it describes a situation where things are growing and shefa, abundance all over the place. And the opposite holds true if a person distances himself from the Rebbeinu Shalom. Well, the second half of an Aveda, the actual Asiya, whatever happened, has its own problem. An example to that is that the Orach HaKodesh says that when a person eats macholos asuros, a person eats something that is not kosher, even if the person was a total oinus, it still causes timtum alev. It causes a person not to understand Torah and so on. Why? What should we do? That's a fact. That's what happened. Even if the person didn't decide to do it, but it's something. It's a physical metzias that happened. In every aveda, there's always both parts: the machshava of the person to do the aveda and the asiya, and each on its own bring a chois shefa. That's what's important. It's two separate problems. Still, a person has to remember that the fact that they decided to do Avla number 1 doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to cause the Avla number 2. It's two parts, like we mentioned earlier in the shir. That's how we started this shir. Now, how much shefa is going to be missing in the world because of the Avera. Like 2 liter. Like how's this going to work? The answer is, that's totally in many, many details which we can't understand. We know the Metzias, that Avera causes harm and distance from the Rebbeinu Shlem, but to be able to reckon, to cheshbon, what is going to be the result of the Avera, that's totally in many, many different goyim, because sometimes it gets connected to a different Avera. That means together, Abisha waited and wasn't manish, didn't punish for a certain Avera and another Avera, but until V'yoim Pokti Pokarati, it says by the Eil, that many Averas came together and now Oynish came. It could be that. It could be also connected to Averas that other people did. Because like a Rambam, like there was Sinas China Baklal Yisrael. There was a situation of Machloikus in this area. Of course we can't reckon. The quantity, the quality of the Oynish, to say, you see, no, that you can't do. The concept is clear, but to measure, of course we can't, because...
It's true, it says we can't know, because one Avera is easier for a person to resist it, one Avera is harder.
Right. How hard was it for the person to overcome his nisayon? Of course, every person is different, and every Avera was done on the other circumstances, so that's Pashut. But here is the tricky part. Because we cannot understand the cheshbon of each oynish, why was the oynish so deep, so sharp? Why this person got oynish, this person didn't get oynish? There we can't understand. It shouldn't harm our understand. To me, is the understanding that every single situation of Yisur in this world originates from a problem of an Avera. Both parts, like we'll soon get to it, why it's important to mention again that it's both originates from there, but we can't point fingers because it's not shaykh to understand the cheshbon of how much.
But from my side, I know that my Avera brought damage to the world.
Yeah, all the person knows is this part holds true in any case. My Avera brought down damage to the world. That he has clarity.
One can assume though that a starker Avera created a starker the more damage to the world. If someone was
Yes.
over a level a kares, you can assume something
100%.
worse than a lot, right?
100%. That a strong Avera causes bigger harm to the world. It's not only you could assume that's how it is. But when you're watching the harm happening and knowing who's Avera, now that you can't chesed, because it's so simple that you can't chesed it, because it's always totally in more gorumim. There's more more things involved. Now,
Ikei Tishma means we really don't know.
explain.
We really can't cheshbon what's a big Avera, what's a little Avera.
See, by mitzvahs, it's very important. By mitzvahs, Chazal keep on throwing in. Don't cheshbon ki'ilu you know this mitzvah is bigger, because you should know. Just do all the mitzvahs because you can't know. By Averis, the Torah does talk in such a mahalach, because the Torah says there's no einish and this is alav and this is Mises Bez and Koras, because the Torah wants us to know that you should know this is you have to be careful always, but be aware. Now, why are we digging into this topic? Because we're trying to so badly get to how a person could have charota and understand that gefährliche Teitzos had to do with him without having the unhealthy, guilty conscience. If we could figure this out, it could build a world. A person does tshuva, charota, b'simcha, and he fixes be'emes. But when a person, that's the big, huge challenge. The mitzad echad, if you say, we can't understand, we don't know why the Eibusha does things, it's pasher, it would have anyways happened, when you go down that route, you don't fix anything. The other route, that a person says, I'm at fault, I did it, I can't get to myself, because I'm so depressed, because I know I made it happen. You could sometimes hear mothers saying, because they thought something about their mother-in-law, that's why their kid died in front of them. Yeah, that's terrible. It's unhealthy, guilty conscience, which just does harm. It just messes up the whole house, and it has zero tachlis, and you could see that this is something that's off. It's not true. It's not emes. So the Torah wants us to figure out episode way in the middle, which the person could see a picture and b'chlal not fall apart, and it should hold true. And the person has to be able to comprehend. That means one of the reasons why it's so hard to get to the bottom of it, of like a healthy guilty conscience, not an unhealthy one, is because a person has to be able to understand it to the sense that it clicks, they chap the matziv. And here, this is one of the issues. One of the issues is that a person, he always juggles that, like they got a slap across the face. Something happened terrible to their family or to them. Something happened. If it was monetary, whatever it was. And they're like, if I'm going to go to the mahalach that it's because of my Aveda, I'm going to be very upset at the Rebbeinu Shalom. You know why? He doesn't say it, but deep down, the person feels, hey, that's not fair. Because I did this Aveda, that's why I deserve such petch. That's not fair. It's not proportional. That's what they feel. That they feel such bizyoinus or such a terrible zach. This guy's doing Aveda and that guy's doing Aveda, and I have to get such a huge blow for why? Because I did what everybody's doing. So they feel it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. So here they are always, they always have the conflict. That means they feel they only have two options. One option is, listen, it's a hechel zach, it's letoiv, next. Pretty good, because they're not fighting Hashem. But mitzat sheni, they're totally disconnecting themselves. Nothing to do with them. The other choice that they have is to blame themselves, which is so painful, and also they feel it doesn't make sense, so they get upset at the Rebbeinu Shalom. So then they run back and they say it was bashert till the next makubah that gives them chizik, and it goes choyzer chalila. That means they don't find a way where a person could understand that everything is bashert. Epis in middle, that you could feel that it's higher, we can understand, and at the same time say it makes sense. Let's see what we can fix. This formula that it should work out is sometimes very hard for people to get to, and it's a chaval. It's a shot because people are not continuing on in life. People could have such better things. Could turn out to the better if we would be able to go like this b'simcha. So the solution to this, how do they call it in math? To this equation, yeah. Like you have a, how do you solve this? Is the beginning of it is by understanding what we mentioned a little bit in the beginning of this year. A person did an Aveda, so he's connected to the situation that happens. He did an Aveda, and the Oynish happened to him. If Oynish happened to you, it's connected to Aveda that you did. The Goydel of how it happened and what tzura, in what form it happened, and how deep it was hurting, that is a bigger picture. There's much, much more to that picture than you are grasping, that you could chap.
I also don't know if it's an Aver from 5 years ago or an Aver from last week.
True. Sometimes there's midah connected midah. Sometimes there's always midah connected midah. I mean, sometimes it's obvious. That's what I mean to say. Sometimes a person is zoicha, one for one, just like that. But many times it's a broader picture. There's also a broader picture. So mitzad echad, this is what's so important. This is all of it. This is every person could understand. Mitzad echad, the person, I got something happened to me. Let me see what I can fix. It's connected to me. But now, when machshavas of it, like it's not proportional, like such type of zachen, but why me and all and I tried so hard. I was the one from my whole family that did this hidur and sneer, whatever it is, and punkt by me it happened. No, when you run there, no. Stop that. That's not a richtige way. Why? Because the underliner of that machshava is that you feel it's not fair. Now, that's not a good machshava. But the person is torn because they're so devastated. Sometimes it's Ruchni is going to say, they're devastated. The person has to understand, not because you're taking blame in the sense that I could do things better, I should be doing tshuva, doesn't mean that you got such a slap. No. There's a broader picture. It was bashert because of many reasons. It's a michlol. It's like so many details that cause that the oynish or the situation should be the way it is, including that it was bashert the katchila. Anyways, combine such details part of the picture, so the proportion shouldn't mess you up.
So a person shouldn't say when they say, I made that happen. That was me. I did that.
Right. Okay. So let's get to this sentence, because we have to. A person feels I made this happen. I did it biyadayim. You could sometimes hear mothers saying, "I killed my child." Why? Because once I said I would rather. It went through my moyach that I would rather this should happen there, and it happened, and it happened, and I read and I heard this shir, that course saying that it is a mind. How do they call it? You. The koyach of the mind to make things happen. And in fact, it happened. It happened. So listen to this. I forgot the word again. Theology. That means it's a word. How to explain something. This is mahalach machshava. No. Er sich zu gut. A simple marshal, very simple marshal. I think I could very stark explain it. Black and white, explain it well. Today, when a person is a phone call, cell phones or whatever, so you call, and then the other person picks up and you hear the voice. And all technologies, I think today, basically, the way it works is that it's not going from this phone to that phone. It's going from here to the satellite, right? So it goes. And from the satellite back down. This is a very important mashal. When a person does mitzvah / aveda, whatever, any action in this world, of course it does a gewaldige, it brings toitzoah. It brings results. Ein other totally LB that the Blazer when the Dai says was that your choices are very real. Your machshavas that you were thinking, it's very, very real. But it never touches a result in this world that you could just like disconnect from there and you just did it. That's never true. The koyach of a person's achlota in a choice, b'mitzvah and aveda, is that you have the koyach to make a yichud in that oilam. Always. That's always how it works. The most simple matters that a person does. First, where are you working? Where are you doing whatever you're doing? Not here. If it's a mitzvah, you're causing a yichud shchinte right now. Whatever that means. You're causing hanoah for the shchina. That's always the way it works. But afterwards, the result of that in the oilamos, you just were moisef shefa. What happens is, it comes down shefa to the world. But it's always going to have gone through many changes because it's not coming from your actions. It's coming from above. This mashal could explain something so simple. So that's the reason why when you did the action and then when this is the result that happened, you're like, but how could Hashem do that? Because I said something nasty to that person, that's why I deserve. That sometimes people feel that way. When a person did an Aveda, they caused a chisaron of shefa in the Olamis. Now, there are so many different aspects of what's going on in those Olamis. So if you had a shaykhis, a person is supposed to think like that. Shaykhis, that's a person b'achnoah, la'olam, a person should believe and remember the world is chetzi chayiv, chetzi zakai. Yes, things that happen, a person should feel they had a shaykhis. They have to look. What could I do better? But I made this happen. I did it b'yodai. It's wrong. It's be'emes wrong. At the same time, the person has a cheshbon hanefesh. At the same time, they have a mistake. They can't make things happen. Even if a person who tried to do the worst aveda, they wish just in a second doesn't let him. It doesn't even happen. Who gave you the siyata? I don't want to call it siyata d'shmaya, but who let you the aveda happen? Let's say you did the worst aveda and you executed it. It was adasov. You couldn't make that happen. Bilam was a bigger Rasha than you when he wasn't successful. You couldn't. There was something heche. There was a force that the Rebbeinu Shalom decided to let this happen. So then a person could, in the same time, do tshuva and not fall apart and hear those words that it's bashert and we don't have cheshbon shemayim, and it should complement one each other. They're both be'emes, and if you think, or rather if you try to feel the intuition, when a person sees something major happening, it settles in their heart and mind more that this is something beyond my understanding, more than I could play around with this. Because they're watching something so amazing, something enormous. They feel that it's something that's bashert, and I can't understand it. But at the same time, you're telling them, you did it. Shayla, what's tight you did it? And a person could be emes steig by, in the same time, seeing it's a bigger picture, it's a broader picture, and he chaps why. It's connected to previous averes, maybe previous gilgulim and tikkunim that he has to do. That's why this is the situation that turns out. Sometimes the person did a wrong move in mischer, in money, and he got so messed up. And he's like, okay, I shouldn't have done that. I'm asking. But behemoth, that's why my life should be now miserable for 20 years. Like, what? Why would that be fear? And behemoth people that go through big nisyonis, and they feel like the next 10, 20 years things are not going to settle. Now this is their life. So what do you want to tell me? You want to tell me because I behemoth did something that wasn't appropriate when I was younger, and I'm asking. So that's why I messed up now forever. No, this could help people understand this yisoid. Once we get to this, now let's go further. Very lemaisidik. This was also lemaisis, that a person should be able to have charata without falling apart. But here is something more specific, very simple and specific. So what could a person do to help the situation? They could understand the power of being boicher b'toy versus being boicher b'ra. That means they're looking at a situation, they're saying, a person's supposed to see a matzav, and say, you see all this damage to the world? It's a result of people being boicher b'ra. Many people, many times. But l'maisa, it's a result of that. But the exact results is how the Rebbeinu Shalom set it up. What's the gear for the person to know? That when I choose the right decision, then I'm building Oilamis. Now let's explain that. What does it mean I'm building worlds? Building Oilamis means, imagine a city. A person has an idea that he wants to build a new city. And there was the help, the Yatziyat the Shmaya, and he be'emes was mitzliach. It took 15, 20 years, but he got there. Streets and buildings and shuls and schools. Now people that were born into that city. This is the new world. And it's such a beautiful city, we're such good people. This person built a new environment. And this environment enabled many, many people to have lives of steiging or whatever, because he created a new environment that wasn't kayam beforehand. The same is, and listen to this one, so important. It's every day we have this matziv. When a person davens for success in ruchnius, beautiful tefillah, he davens to the Rebbeinu Shalom to be matzliach in tefillah, in Torah, in kedusha, in ben adam l'chavera. Can't be nicer than that. Many times, people tend to focus to beg the Rebbeinu Shalom to change the situation of ruchnis that they are in order they should be able to be successful in learning. That means, help me have less tears, help me have a dira that I could. No, but I mean ruchnis. Let's mamash. I could stay by ruchnis. Help me have a geschmack on learning. Even that, it's a result. Geschmack on learning is a result of something. It's such a beautiful tefillah, but there's a better tefillah than that. That is, help me be boicher b'toiv under the circumstances that I'm in. Help me make the right decisions in the situation that I'm in. Let's explain the difference. It's a world of a difference. Pun intended. Because whenever a person chooses to do the right thing, we use the term, he's building worlds. Why did we use this marshal? You are creating the new environment by choosing to do what's toiv. Because as we spoke, you're doing a mitzvah, something happened. Something happened now. For sure. But it doesn't happen ever this way. That means right away you get a phone call. No, it first goes to the satellite. It goes up. And that always happens. And then comes down. When it comes down, that it creates new opportunities in the sprach of the world. You have to create new opportunities. The person is upset about their matziv. Their matziv is what we call results. Results is what the Rebbeinu Shalom is doing. Your part is to take the situation you're in and keep on making right decisions in your situation, which that is going to turn in to results which are going to create the environment that you're asking for. So instead of begging the Rebbeinu Shalom to change the matziv, why are you focusing so badly on Hashem's job? You focus on your job. Kommt aus. That,
Why wouldn't you, just practically speaking, why wouldn't someone go straight to the result?
because it can be.
We both have a common goal. I have a common...
What, with the Rebbeinu Shalom?
Yeah, to change the matzah.
So he's asking the Rebbeinu Shalom to change the result, but I wish to say, he's asking Givaldi. He's saying, we need the result to change. So why are you stalling for time? That means you're doing the first part and you're hoping it's going to turn into, I have a good idea, let's add the Rebbeinu Shalom and bring this result. A tefillah, bring these results. The answer is, because those results could only happen when a person is boicher b'toiv. So your tefillah is a shvachere tefillah. That's the oimik of ein adavar tolu yalabi. You want it in English? Most words will be in English. It's like this. The topic of how much control I have to this world is a two-edged sword. That's how you say it? Double-edged sword. That means like this. You have zero control to results, and you have soul. That means you're the only person that has control on making those results happen in the same time. Again, I meant what I said. Mitzad echad, if you want to push results to happen, I want to change the matziv. I want this yeshiva to do different. You can make results. It's not shy. Try. You can't even do Aveda if you want. You have zero control to execute anything, because results is the Rebbeinu Shalom has to decide. But on what basis does the Rebbeinu Shalom decide results should happen to this world Shefa? He gave it over only to Yisrael, only to Klal Yisrael. That means your choices. Only your choices could bring, by your choices doing whatever it's supposed to, you're connecting to the Rebbeinu Shalom. You're connecting to the Rebbeinu Shalom. The Rebbeinu Shalom brings results, and you're still not in control to do it like that, but you're the only one that could make any results happen through Torah, through Tefillah, through Chesed, Tshuva, any of the above. So that's why when a person davens, a person should daven that he should make the right choices, and then he is going to be doing what's best. He's going to be bringing to the world and to himself the best that's possible.
Do we find such a nusach someplace in our tefillah? Saknei Beitz Tova?
No, Saknei Beitz Tova. There's many Lashonis. I didn't prepare Lashonis that we asked the Rebbeinu Shalom to be able to. Yishlot bi Yetzer HaTova, Al Yishlot bi Yetzer Hara is a good example for that. It's not using the word Bechira, but Yishlot bi means help me. Help me, my Yetzer Tov should be strong.
Is it shot that the result will actually change, or through being boicher b'toiv, I'll come to a matzav of recognizing that whatever matzav I'm in...
No, it brings actual results. Klar. The person is going to recognize it brings results exactly what he wanted. As we mentioned earlier, that once it goes up, it's part of a big cheshbon. and it definitely brings shefa. But it's not anymore with your mind that I'm trying to do this, so I'm going to do this gula, and then that's a mistake. That's like a person feeling I'm maneuvering it like I want with my understanding. That was the beginning of the shir. It's the same. It looks like two different topics, but it's the same concept. We mentioned in the beginning of the shir. When a person does an avera, boom, there's oinchim. But it didn't happen like that, because you can never have a handle on the olam hazeh to just do it the way you feel and like. Just it goes up, causes a certain result, it comes down lefi the cheshbon shamayim. The Medinas always use this language that when something happens, let's say a Medina that's oyev, an enemy did something, so they were going to retaliate, but not right now. Whenever we decide and the way we decide, but it's a good marshal for this. The pshat sazoy, something's going to happen, but it's not told that you're going to. So this is more cheshbonis.
What might come down is even like what the Rambam said, something that looks to you like Ra, but really it's Tov.
Right. But it's for sure. At the same time that it's for sure that our actions are constantly doing what it's doing, at the same time we chap the bigger, broader picture that's happening right now. And
how does this? Sorry.
Yeah.
How does this? So in the world of segulas, how does this
delete the world of segulas? The quicker, the better. He just said in a drasha, Rav Avram Shor, he said, until I was 18, I didn't even know of such a word. That means 99% of segulas that are going around is all trying to manipulate the shallowness of people, that they feel the Yiddishkeit is a give and take, and this kaveh, this money, this whatever, they're trying to make money on you, but it's hepech gesund to Yiddishkeit. It's simple. It's embarrassing what people are doing. I thought it was simple. I guess it was mentioned in all the shiurim in Yiddish, many shiurim on this topic, that it's something that's modern. Lately, people see you can make money on it, but that's a mahalach. What should you do? Do this school, do that school, stand on your head, get 40 people to stand there. What's this? There's a musik of school. The musik of school is that's a certain mitzvah. So we believe in the koyach of a mitzvah. We don't know exactly how it's going to result. But kibbut of aim, it's borrow. Kibbut of aim, there's no doubt that it's going to bring shefa for sure.
Specifically,
that the Gemara discusses, that but not so simple. The Gemara has a discussion about it. But in this world, the Kibbut Avim brings shefa for the person, Boilam Hazeh. But many mitzvahs, a person knows the skula, is definitely going to bring Chaim, he doesn't know, but the Gemara Rashi says, a Yid, if it didn't bring that his child should live, he's not Chayzer. He doesn't have charot. He's not toyal arishonis. Why? Because he doesn't play with a bunch like that. He's busy doing mitzvahs. He just believes and knows for sure that a mitzvah brings shefa. There's no way that not. We'll leave it at that. Okay.